It's without a doubt that the first thing that people think of when we talk about plumbing is the male gender. And for the longest of time, gender inequality has been the biggest disruption when it comes to limiting and exposing the value that women have to offer within the plumbing industry. That's why today's episode is all about showing off the wonderful contribution, the value that the queens have to offer, all in the spirit of Women's Month. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another brand new and exciting episode of Plumbing 101. Nedzina langande Rendani Chibura, aka Randy, your number one MC. And I'm so excited for this episode. It's a special one indeed. But before we get into the nitty-gritty, we cannot break away from tradition. So we're going to keep you updated and inform you in what's happening all around the world of plumbing. Let's go straight into the news.
Hello and welcome to Plumbing 101 News. I'm Naomi. Water pipe renovations made as part of Project Lungisa have saved Grebo millions of liters in water. 37% of the nation's potable water is lost owing to faulty systems, poor infrastructure, and unauthorized connections. Since the project's implementation, the water-saving initiative between the Teerwaterskloof municipality and Coca-Cola Beverages South Africa has prevented millions of liters of water from being wasted. Meanwhile, with the help of the Smart City Innovations Challenge, the City of Johannesburg hopes to address problems with service delivery. Protests against service delivery are reported nationwide each week. The City of Johannesburg established a yearly Smart City Innovations Challenge in an effort to address social and service delivery issues. Through this challenge, they hope to find ways for businesses, residents, the public administration to respond more quickly and seamlessly to everyday life and emergency situations. In other news, the Australian cleaning company known as BIC was recently purchased by Bidvest for roughly 1.8 billion. BIC, based in Sydney and operating throughout Australia, was founded in 1989. Its central cleaning services utilize an interactive technology solution and is supplemented by a full range of health and safety, waste maintenance, and other supporting functions. According to Bidvest, the deal is consistent with the strategic goal of increasing its global position in facilities management, hygiene services, and the sale of plumbing and related goods. And finally, according to the Department of Higher Education, Science and Innovation, there is a significant need for highly qualified tradespeople who perform skilled physical labor within the technical field. The department is hard at work, said Dr. Blade Nzimande, to inspire young people to pursue careers as artisans. This encouragement is mostly felt by women in plumbing. Regardless of gender, becoming a plumber in South Africa is a much sought after profession, as this, of course, is a trade work that will always be in demand. With organizations such as the PIRB and IOPSA at the helm of this transformation, the spotlight on matters of diversity within the professional world has never been this bright. Justine Matlafunya, the complaint administrator at the PIRB, believes that her participation in the plumbing industry allows her to recognize gaps within the industry where she can hopefully assist in creating a more inclusive industry for all. More announcement to come later on the show. For now, let's take it back to Rendani in studio.
Thank you, Naomi, for keeping us updated in what's happening all around the world of plumbing. Now back to the business. Ladies and gentlemen, I told you today's episode is quite a special one for me because today's guest is very inspirational. When I saw her profile, I thought, Lee Leadership. Now, she's the Chief Empowerment Officer of the UPP Group. And in my understanding, when we speak UPP, we're talking everything that has to do with water. And I'm sure she's going to go in deeper when it comes to giving us the detail around it. But apart from that, all right, she's been in marketing, or she's in marketing, she's in relationship building, team building. She's all about inspiring and developing the other human being. And for me, that's truly special. So without any further ado, ladies and gentlemen, in studio today, we have the lovely Mrs. Mandy Keil. Mandy.
Thank you so much for that, Rendani. Wow. I hope that I live up to...
No, I think your life is an example.
No, thank you.
You are living it already.
Yeah. Well, it is my passion, leadership and growing others and developing others. That's my passion. That's what I live for.
Wow, wow. As I said, when I read your profile, I was like, this is not going to be an interview. You see, this is going to be a conversation, you know, especially when we meet people that empower others. It's very scarce to find that. So that's something special. But I want to get straight into the conversation, Mandy. All right.
Okay.
What got you into this industry? And you know, when we speak about the stereotypes around the plumbing industry, it's so male orientated. Out of everything, I mean, you're in marketing, you've done research, you do relationship building. Why specifically this industry?
Two things. Love.
Come on, yeah.
The first one was love. So quite honestly, I think the first thing is that it was by default, okay? Because I met my now husband, Duncan Keil.
Yes.
And we got engaged in 2007. And during that year, we had discussed, because I come from a corporate background. I'd always been in insurance. I was at Discovery at the time. And we had spoken about me coming to work with him in the business. So that was the first reason. But speaking about stereotypes, you know, I'd been in corporate. I had quite a significant role within the company that I was working at. And when I told everyone I'm leaving and they said, where are you going to? And I said, I'm going to work in a plumbing company.
I'm just like, what?
Oh my God. Like, what?
Where are the cameras?
Yeah. Are you serious? It's like a serious downgrade in their opinion. So I definitely came across that stereotype very strongly. And to be quite honest, it was a stereotype I had to overcome as well.
Come on.
Because it's just a completely different industry. In my mind, when I was going from corporate into a small, medium enterprise environment, I had my perceptions of what I was going to experience, and it was just so different. So I must say, I'm going to be lying if I don't say that it was quite a culture shock at first. But I soon saw all the opportunity and the challenges that I was experiencing within my own development. Firstly, you know, if you work in a corporate environment, you're employed to do a job.
Yes.
That's your role. So if you're in marketing, you're in marketing. If you're in sales, you're in sales.
Your specific department.
Very specific. Once you're an entrepreneur, once you're a business owner, you need to know sales, you need to know relationship development, marketing, finance, HR. You need to know all the legalities in terms of running a business. And it can be quite complex, and it was quite overwhelming at first. So I'm going to say this. I'm also a firm believer in coaching. I do coach, but my love for coaching came from the fact that I realized I needed help, so I got a business coach. And I received such value out of that. And I still am coach today. I will always have a coach, because I think you always need that. You know, you always get to a point, you're always growing.
Yes.
And you reach you might have a goal and you reach that goal, and then the next challenge arrives, or the next direction you want to go in arrives. And it's very important to have that sounding board, that person that not only directs you, but holds you accountable 100%. To your goals. I think that's so important.
Similar to a mentor, of course.
Very similar to a mentor.
Speaking of that, you mentioned coaching. That means working with different people. All right? Let's not romanticize this, Mandy. There are different personalities in this world, you know, and to everyone that's watching, these words sound nice, but when you have to practically really do these things, when you work with different value systems, you know, culture clashes. In South Africa, it's such a diverse country. What are some of those challenges you've experienced when it comes to building people, coaching people, and mentoring people?
So I think that for me, there are two things that I just want to touch on with regards to that. The first is, you know, like you said, I am the Chief Empowerment Officer at UPP Group, and we are business. We have staff, and we all come from different backgrounds and different experiences. And I think that was my first challenge when I came into the plumbing industry environment, was encountering all the different. It's just more the where people come from is just a lot. The diversity is a lot more I experience in this industry than where I'd come from within corporate. And so I had to figure out ways, and I did that together with coaching. One of the coaches that I had, and I have a few for different things, 100%. And I'm always bringing forward, you know, people that have different skills and strengths as well, so I know where to go to. But every coach that I've ever spoken to or mentor I've had have always told me that, and what you mentioned, that word values, you need to understand the values that you are running your business from. And your values that you have within your business is ultimately what determines the culture within your business.
Come on.
Absolutely.
Come on.
So,
I wish I had a horn. Bing, 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 bing.
So you know what, Rendani? We have sessions every single Wednesday morning within our business, with everyone in our business. Everybody's there, no matter what your role in the business is, and we go through the values of the business. We are always reinforcing our vision, our 10-year target, and our values. So, in fact, we've just done a video that's going to be released soon, where our staff all talk about the value, the UPP value that most resonates with them and why. And when I was listening to them feeding back, it was just so exciting and inspirational for me, you know. And that culture and those values are what the people outside there experience, your clients, your suppliers, other stakeholders within the industry. It's what you become known for. And so that's why that is foundational in terms of creating environments and a culture in your business that is understood and lived out by everyone. So you don't come, so you no longer, we all come from different backgrounds, different cultures. But when you're in an organization, it is important that you all operate from the same culture, that business culture.
I love that. I love that. Plenty to talk about. I told you today's episode is quite special. And I know we're going to take a break, right? But when we do come back, we're going to dissect this conversation. We're going to go deeper. We're going to talk about the things that people don't like talking about, especially when it comes to inequality, when it comes to genders. So ladies and gentlemen, I hope you don't change your channel. Keep watching. You're still tuned into Plumbing 101. We're going to take a quick ad break. Gotta love it. Gotta love it. Yes, man.
As a PIRB registered licensed plumber, you'll need to learn more about the Cpd Registration Cycle, which is aligned to your registration. What happens if you don't meet your Cpd point requirements for the cycle? Unfortunately, this applies as non-compliance, and you will be Cpd suspended and would not be able to log or buy COCs. Always keep in mind that the Cpd cycle is valid from the registration date for 1 year. Be sure to complete your activities within this cycle period to avoid disappointment and Cpd suspension. Cpd is a byproduct of your plumbing tasks that you have to do every day and is not limited to traditional book-taught activities. The Cpd process is here to help you grow and develop into a better plumber while keeping a record of what you have learned. Here's some good news. Cpd points can be carried over. However, 50% of all Cpd points earned over and above the minimum required 20 Cpd points can be carried over to the next cycle to a maximum of 10. We hope this video answered your burning questions regarding the Cpd registration cycle.
Welcome back. You still tuned into Plumbing 101, the best plumbing show. Can I say this?
Yeah.
In the world. Why limit ourselves, man? Why limit ourselves? Yeah. To those of you still joining us, before we went into the ad break, I told you we've got a phenomenal guest in the studio. She goes by the name of Mandy Keil. And we've been talking everything entrepreneurship, breaking stereotypes that come with, specific industries aligned to genders. And we're going to tap into this conversation even more further. All right.
Great stuff.
There we go. But Mandy, before we actually went on the ad break, we didn't really touch on what UPP does, and I know you guys do everything water. And I always say this, I brag about this. This industry is responsible for transporting the most valuable commodity, which is water.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And I think, what we need to understand here, I think everywhere, but specifically in South Africa, water is actually quite a scarce commodity, something 100%. That we need to look after and take care of. And that is what UPP is passionate about. So yes, we are about everything water. We're in the plumbing industry. And like most businesses, I suppose, in this industry, we started out with maintenance, building houses, doing all of that kind of thing. But we've evolved a lot since then. We work in every sphere, from residential to corporate, but most of our business is in the corporate space. And we do traditional plumbing, fit outs, that type of thing, but our passion is in what we call smart water solutions.
Okay.
So, like Duncan says, we bring water into people's houses, we take water out of people's houses and we recycle it.
Come on.
And so there's a full circle that happens.
Wow.
And so we're passionate about helping people understand how to use water wisely and the different solutions out there that can be incorporated, whether it's into their households or businesses, etc., that makes water usage more efficient, clean, and reusable. So that's our passion.
Come on,
Yes.
That's so phenomenal. I've always spoken and said, water is life. And it's such a cliche thing to say nowadays. People don't understand. But the moment it runs out, we find ourselves in a disaster. And I think your organization, UPP, is actually one critical organization for society. Now, I want to align this to an entrepreneurial discussion. All right? You're a businesswoman.
Yep.
All right? Let's not, I said this earlier, let's not romanticize it. I'm a male, all right? And I'm gonna break down those things that people don't like talking about. In the system we live in, we've had many benefits just by the gender that I have. You've had many limitations because you're a woman. Getting into an entrepreneurial side, business side, in a plumbing industry that's aligned highly to males, the male gender, how did you do it? And I really want that formula. And I'm sure someone at home is watching right now is, how did you break those boundaries and really say, because you left corporate, you went from the suit to the boots, and how did you really break around those challenges, those barriers? I'm sure mentally, not even physically, it must have been a mountain to climb. But just in a simple summary, how did you do this?
So you know what? I think that in any environment, being an entrepreneur, being a business owner is challenging, 100%. Regardless of gender.
Yes.
Being a female in business is more challenging. Being a female in business in our industry is something that, like you said, it's a mountain to climb.
Yes.
And I think it's about education, okay? It's about, I've seen this so many times in my journey, and specifically within my industry. I've learned that on one hand, I have to have thick skin because you're in a male-dominant world, and males engage in a certain way. They communicate in a certain way. They have a belief system of female or women's ability in the industry as well in a certain way. And you can either get defensive about it, argumentative about it, become almost like a fighter about it. And I think you should be a fighter, but it's the type of fighter that you are. I think one of the things that I have learned, and through my own development, so I am a certified coach as well, through John Maxwell.
There we go.
And what he says is that, when you're approaching challenges, you've got to learn to connect with people. So I can go into the environment and I can say, I'm going to show them that I can do this, that this is what I'm made of, that I'm going to, be this woman in this industry that's going to make a difference. And yes, I am going to be that woman. But I think what has helped me is the skill of listening.
Wow.
Of learning to understand because you also have to take into account that, and I think it does take a level of EQ to understand that you are entering into an environment that has been a certain way for so many decades, if not centuries, and you're stepping into someone else's environment, so to say, okay? Even though maybe it shouldn't be that way, but that's your reality.
A certain way things were done.
Yeah. So you need to figure out how to navigate that, and you navigate that by earning respect. And for me, respect is earned by listening. So I'm going to come to you and I'm going to say, Rendani, you in this industry, and I'm going to listen to what you think the challenges are of women coming into the industry. Okay, so you're going to, it's funny, the stereotypes that people have. Every time I've spoken about female plumbers, almost the first question is, can they put a geyser into it?
I was about to say that.
It's like the main thing that always comes up. I find it so funny. It's a joke. It's something I laugh at.
Go up to the roof,
And so it's listening to those things and then dealing with it and saying, okay, so let's discuss this. There's something that we have in our business called IDS when we face a challenge. Identify the challenge, discuss it, and discuss solutions. And you don't walk away without a solution. And we use what we call the 5 whys. So, so you come into a male-dominant environment, and the question is about women's abilities to do this job, to be in this environment. So you ask the question, why? Why do you have that? Because I don't know if they're physically strong enough to do the job. Okay, why do you think that? Because of, and normally by the time you get to the 3rd, 5th why, they've already answered. They've actually come to their own answer, like, oh, actually, you know what? My thought process was actually quite silly. and so overcoming that and learning to build relationships with key role players in the industry, having a growth mindset within the industry. I think for me, if you want to make a success in this industry, it's also about understanding that I'm coming into environment and I have to I also need to change, and I also need to have a growth mindset and to work with people rather than to come up against people and butt heads. And I think that gained me a platform where I could engage and communicate and have conversations with very professional plumbers, because I developed the relationship first. So I think that's quite important.
Yeah, I love it. And I think Mandy just took me back. You mentioned emotional intelligence. You mentioned leadership, Dr. John C. Maxwell. Guys, 21 irrefutable laws of leadership. I mean, I see you, Mandy. I see you.
The guy's a guru.
But I can already see. That's why I said when I read your profile, I felt this is leadership, and it's so scarce to find, not just in this industry, in general, because we have a leadership bankruptcy. But there's still plenty to talk about. And you mentioned solutions. Before we wrap up the show, of course, we're going to give solutions. We're going to give advice. And I know some inspiration is going to come out. So we're going to take a quick ad break, but we'll be right back. You gotta love it. You gotta love it. Yes, man.
Good day. How can I help you?
Hi. I'm here to log in my COCs, but I seem to be having an issue with my computer.
No problem. But did you know that you can log your COCs using an app on your cell phone?
Oh, what app is that?
It's called the App Plumber. Do you have a smartphone with you?
Yes, I do.
Oh well, let me show you how it works.
Not only can you access your PIRB profile on the App Plumber, but you can also earn CPD points while exploring the plumbing industry in the palm of your hand. Download the app from Google Play Store and join thousands of other happy users. In collaboration with IOPSA, Articulated presents a heat pump installation course with a whopping 10% discount in honor of Women's Month this August. Consisting of 7 modules, this course will provide you with knowledge surrounding the types of heat pumps available, the economic benefits of heat pumps, and an overview of the SANS 135 national standard. For more information or to register for this course and earn yourself 5 CPD points, be sure to visit www.iopsatraining.co.za. The PIRB Master Plumber Recognition Program has officially arrived. As an essential service to society, there must be constant growth and development within this important and ever-changing industry. Developed by the PIRB, the Master Plumber Recognition Program has launched as a new PIRB designation, allowing industry champions to take the lead. Skilled and experienced plumbers equipped to take the lead, enroll today to start your journey in becoming a recognized PIRB Master Plumber.
Welcome back. You still tuned in to Plumbing 101, a special additional episode, I must say. One that really hits my heart and it really hits home. And I'm sure for those who've been watching since the beginning, you certainly will agree with me. Mandy, just before we went on the ad break, in fact, during the ad break, all right, we were saying that, this discussion cannot be summarized in one episode. It should be a series. There's so much more we can talk about. And that's why I'm making this public. Mandy will be back on Plumbing 101. But for every great thing, there's always a conclusion, all right? But before we summarize it, I want to talk about the importance of current female plumbers or women in the plumbing industry at large. How important is their contribution, especially to, create that consistency for the next generation? People like yourself, how important are you so that there's life and continuation for the next generation?
Yep. So, I think that something I'm really excited about and that I've witnessed is the collaboration between our industry players, between PRB, IOPSA, Women in Plumbing, and various other people working on the transformation of our industry. On the professionalism side, but also on the incorporating of women into this industry. And there's such a lot of activity happening around this, Rendani. And it's so inspirational. And I just want to say to any of you female plumbers out there, if you are a qualified and licensed plumber currently, maybe you are at a college learning to become a plumber, maybe you are an apprentice within a business. We have female apprentice plumbers within the TB group.
Yes.
Because you've got to live what you talk about.
Yes.
And I just want to say that you are currently the trailblazers in our environment. You are a part of this significant transformation that is happening within the plumbing industry. And you are going to encounter stereotypes. You're going to encounter challenges. You're going to sometimes just think, gosh, I am trying, and is this worth it? And let me say this to you, never give up. Keep on going. In the future, you're going to have female plumbers out there looking back and hearing about how you forged the path to make working in this industry a norm, where it is not a challenge to work in the industry anymore, but you're setting out the pathway to make it a norm for the future female generation. So please keep doing what you are doing. And you are going to face challenges, like I said, and sometimes you're even going to feel like you might have failed, but keep on going. One of my favorite John Maxwell quotes is, sometimes you win and sometimes you learn. So just keep going, keep learning, keep growing.
Hey, I didn't expect that one. I was already going, sometimes you win, sometimes you lose, but I love the learning part. And speaking of that, to those that are coming, all right? This industry is not the most glamorous industry, but we like a diamond. You see, you don't see it because it's deep. But the moment you invest in going down and really getting it, you'll understand the value of it. For those who are still perhaps confused, uncertain, I'm not sure. am I gonna be able to be financially okay? Those that still have doubt, what words of encouragement would you say to the potential next generation of female plumbers?
I think, one of the things I'm sad about is how plumbing is seen in South Africa in general. Around the world, in many other countries, it's very different. It's seen as a professional industry.
Yes.
And if you are doubting about becoming a plumber, for me, it's not about choosing a trade, because maybe, in this world, we're told that if you're not great at academics, go into a trade. For me, it's not that. You are an artisan.
Yes.
You are an artisan when you become a plumber. The amount of skill that you need in order to provide the solutions that bring water, that bring life to people, is something phenomenal. And I've witnessed my understanding and how I see plumbing since I've been in this industry I've got such a respect for the plumbing technicians out there. So see yourself as an artisan, and that is what you're going to become. And in terms of being financially, is it a financially viable route to take? Absolutely. There is just so much opportunity out there. So go for it.
Go for it. Mandy, I have no words to say except thank you. And I'm sure I speak on behalf of so many people watching this episode. You've touched us, and not because of what you say, but because of what you do and what you live. And I think that's an example of greatness. You don't understand good when good doesn't exist, when you understand great. Yeah. And I want to give you your roses while you can still smell them. And just like to every other contributor like yourself, and we shouldn't just do this because it's the Spirit of Women's Month. This should be consistent. It shouldn't just be an August thing. It has to be a continuous engagement. So thank you so much. Are we going to do this again?
Absolutely.
It's a must, right? Yeah?
Absolutely.
I agree with that.
I loved spending time with you, Rendani.
Come on.
Absolutely. I'm coming back.
There we go. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
I have to, and I think it's also about creating role models. So a big shout out to every single female contributor within the plumbing industry. And you know what? You as a female doing or making a significant difference in whatever industry, we respect you as well. But in the industry, speaking of role models, let me name drop a few. All right. I call them living legends. All right. A big shout out to you, Lorraine Moy, I see you. Jabulile Nkosi, I see you. Marlies van Aswegen, I see you. And Mandy Keil, I see you. All right. As we wrap up this amazing episode, we wrap it up in style. Don't forget, Nedzina Langa, Rendani, aka Rendi, your #1 MC. Yes, man. Naomi, back to you with the news.
Welcome back to the news. On behalf of the PIRB, we would like to thank everyone for another very successful Champions for Charity event. To all the people who attended, to all the people who donated, to all the people who got beat up, thank you for the entertainment. But thank you so much for the gracious donations. Your contributions will make a lasting difference in the lives of those who need it most. And congratulations to the winner of the Plumbing Awards from IOPSA. Your efforts within the plumbing industry are very much appreciated. And taking it back to the roadshow, the PIRB had the greatest honor in meeting some of the most amazing people at OnTap and Build It in the Eastern Cape. For our next stop, we'll be visiting Northern Cape on the 29th of August, and the 31st of August will be in Free State. And just to close it off, in celebration of Women's Month, let's end this episode with some of the insights from a woman in business. Bye.
Good day, everyone. I'm Siza Sikasa, residing in Secunda and Mpumalanga. I'm a proudly registered PRB plumber, woman in plumbing. How I got interested in plumbing is by, you get those small problems in a house where you have a tap leak, which is a minor thing that one can do for themselves. So one day I took the initiative and thought to myself, let me try this out instead of having to wait for help or call for help. So I Googled on the things that I might need, went out there, got them myself, did it, and then that's how my interest developed. So since then, hey, here I am. Now I do big plumbing and big pipes. Anyway, my experiences as a woman in plumbing, or woman in business rather, we come across a lot of challenges, different kinds of people, different challenges, you know. But as a businesswoman, you learn with people's skills. You know how to identify problems and to solve problems at its best also. So it's quite hard, but it's doable. I've done it, and I must say myself, it's great success. It really is a great success, with, of course, with people's support and great employees, great partners, people who push you, the inspirational talks that you get from people, and also the type of people you meet as you go along, working in plumbing and fixing other people's houses, and yeah, you know what I mean. So I would really, really, really suggest that more women become plumbers, as it's not a man thing. I mean, if I could do it, I think anyone can do it. There's many women in plumbing with great experience, and yeah, guys, let's do this, hey? Let's do this. Girls, hey, you know, nothing can fail us as women. So yes, let's do this. If I can do it, anyone can do it. Thank you.